I think as supply becomes more available, vaccine hesitancy is going to be more of an issue as we battle to reach herd immunity.
For Dr. Corey Bailey, the head of Doctors Manitoba, trust between a doctor and patient key right now.
There is hesitancy amongst the public about the AstraZeneca vaccine. There has been a lot of media attention regarding the very rare side effects that are seen with the AstraZeneca vaccine.
Despite this, Bailey says docs have been able to ease these fears.
The physicians that I've spoken to have not had any problems being able to use their vaccine as quickly as possible.
Supply, he says, remains their biggest issue.
Doctors Manitoba has surveyed their physicians, and we're confident that we could roll out as much as 5,000 doses a day if vaccine was available.
Bailey now calling for more AstraZeneca, but also their counterparts as supply allows.
We're encouraging Manitoba Health to provide the mRNA vaccines, either Pfizer or the Moderna vaccine, to physician offices so that we can get vaccine out into arms as soon as possible.
The bottom line for Manitobans from the doc, trust the science and get your jab as soon as you can.
Physicians want to reassure Manitobans that the best vaccine for them is the one that's available for them now.
In Winnipeg, Jonas Gilbart, City News.